Recent reporting reaffirms Donald Trump's status as a literal walking national security risk because he allegedly shared some of America's nuclear secrets with a foreign national billionaire who in turn shared it with dozens of others, including foreign officials and journalists. But before we unpack all that, if you haven't yet, please hit that like, subscribe, and the alert bell. Maybe check out my Patreon. I'd appreciate the support. All right, folks, this is, it's one of those things where this is entirely predictable, but it's just like, really? Again, are we really here? This is an article from ABC News. It's being discussed everywhere. Trump allegedly discussed U.S. nuclear subs with a foreign national after leaving the White House. Months after leaving the White House, Trump allegedly discussed potentially sensitive information about U.S. nuclear submarines with a member of his Mar-a-Lago club, an Australian billionaire who then allegedly shared it with dozens of others, including foreign officials, several of his own employees, and a handful of journalists, according to sources familiar with the matter. The potential disclosure was reported to Special Counsel Jack Smith's team as they investigate Trump's alleged hoarding of classified documents. Now, with all the stuff going on with Trump, it's easy to forget that one of the many indictments that have been levied against him is for the willful retention of national defense information and classified material, which he, again, we have him on tape doing. This is recorded. We have the audio tape. You've heard it. Everybody's heard it. We've discussed it on this channel, where he's showing it in front of like biographers and writers and journalists, people who are not authorized to know about this information, let alone see it. And by the way, he wasn't authorized to have that information once he was no longer president. Prosecutors and FBI agents have at least twice this year interviewed the Mar-a-Lago member, Anthony Pratt, who runs U.S.-based Pratt Industries, one of the world's largest packaging companies. In those interviews, he described how, looking to make conversation with Trump at Mar-a-Lago, he brought up the American submarine fleet, which the two had discussed before. According to Pratt, this is the Australian billionaire, as described by the sources, Pratt told Trump he believed Australia could start buying its submarines from the U.S., to which an excited Trump, leaning towards Pratt as if to be discreet, then told Pratt two pieces of information about U.S. submarines: the supposed exact number of nuclear warheads they routinely carry, and exactly how close they can get to a Russian submarine without being detected. In emails and conversations after the meeting with Trump, Pratt described Trump's remarks to at least 45 others, including 6 journalists, 11 of his company's employees, 10 Australian officials, and 3 former Australian prime ministers. This is insane. Now, again, it's allegations, but given Trump's past behavior and the credible evidence against him, it seems commensurate with who he is. Now, I want to play a couple of clips here from a former defense secretary under President Clinton, Secretary of Defense Cohen. This is what he has to say on the matter, and he's pretty blunt.
Secretary Cohen, what's your reaction to this report?
It's not surprising. I know it hasn't been validated completely, but let's just look at his history, as Maggie just pointed out. His history is he has very little concern about national security interests, especially as it affects our military and our civilian population. He's given away secrets in the past. He will do so in the future. In this case here, he's being given the benefit of the doubt. How much more evidence do we need of his misbehavior in terms of attacking our institution, the military? He thinks those who give life and limb for service to the country are losers and suckers. He's thrown the intelligence community under the bus in Helsinki. Everything he has done has been to undermine respect for this country of ours. So we're watching this slow, or I'd say even rapid, dissolution of democracy under his hands. He's doing it day after day, and this is just one more example why we should never vote to allow him to get his hands on classified information in the future. He shouldn't be anywhere near the Oval Office ever.
Well said, Mr. Secretary. Everything he just said was eminently defensible and eminently reasonable. I want to play one more clip between Anderson Cooper and Secretary Cohen, in which they discuss again a bit more of the details and what it might mean.
Exactly right, Anderson. I was thinking back in Greek mythology, Roman mythology, they had the bird rumor, and under rumor's feathers were eyes and ears. And so that's how information spreads. So when you think, I'm just giving this information to a friend, number one, it's a violation of the law. But number two, that friend is going to spread it just like everybody else will when they have a rumor they've heard, they have inside information. Look how important I am. I'm close to former president, and I have this information, and it just spreads like wildfire. That's the danger. You're not just giving it to a friend, you're potentially giving it to enemies as well. So this is why it's so important. General Hertling, you mentioned the submarines in particular. Out of the triad, the submarine is the one that is most secure for us because it's not targetable. A preemptive target that can't go after subs. They can go after airplanes, they can go after land-based missiles, but not the subs. So they're special, and he's giving away special information on what is protecting us around the world.
So there you have it, folks. I mean, again, this is the reason I was laughing earlier. It's not funny. It's just he's so stupid. Donald Trump is such a profoundly stupid man. It almost makes you feel like you're in a sitcom, like this is an episode of Veep, which, by the way, is a great show, or something like it. This is the leader of the Republican Party. This man used to be the most powerful man in the world, the head of state, the head of government, the commander-in-chief of history's mightiest military force. This man, and in polls, he's neck and neck with the current president. I mean, it's not funny. It's terrifying. It legitimately is. But it's just so bizarre that the more we learn about this man, I mean, any of these details, anything we know about Donald Trump, for the most part, like any one of these individual pieces of information, disqualify him from the presidency, like in terms of being like a competent, reasonable choice. And then you take it all in aggregate, and it's just like, it's overwhelming. You have sensory overload. And so, yeah, we'll see what happens with this. I'm sure Jack Smith's team, the special counsel investigating the willful retention of national and classified defense information, I'm sure he's salivating over this. And I'm sure there are more details yet to come. But yeah, scary stuff.